I don't know if we are live here. Seems that we may not be. Let me just make sure that we are in fact live. And either way, hopefully you guys are having a great day. It's kind of like weird lighting right now as the sun is just coming up through the window. But hi, have a good day. Let's see. What do we got? Let's see how our trading's going today. And let's see, what is Tesla up to? I love it. Alrighty. All right. See you guys. Awesome. Glad to have you in the stream. Let's get into it. We're up about $86 so far today here on TSLL, which is Tesla stock. We see that it recently sold off this morning after being up to what was $20.29, or I guess 20.40 right pre-market. Saw it sell off just now, just a little bit. I think we're up about 150. Saw it sell down here. We're at $99. As you guys can see, I got it marked up. We're kind of at a resistance here that we've seen in the past and some prior consolidation. So if it were to get rejected, it could get rejected here, go back down to this support. Of course, I wouldn't like to see that because I'd like to see it continue its upward direction. But just, keeping you guys updated on the position. We just wrapped up going live today in our Stockmate group. So they got to see me make this purchase, everything that led to the decision of buying Tesla stock. And I was seeing that Thad was in that live session, saw that Thad was up. What was it, Thad? $430 on NVIDIA. That's awesome. Um, and yeah, so again, we bought into Tesla. We are right here about 1.61% so far. We actually had bought TSLS, which is the short of Tesla, and I'm very, very short to get in and out of that one, but we had a profitable catch of this swing. So we saw Tesla was just really selling off right at market open. So we had bought the short position. And then we got in here right at 1863. Okay, so that's the position we got in earlier this morning in our Stockmate group live. If you guys want to watch me trade live, I would encourage you to check out that second link down below. We have our best sale ever for Stockmate, and we specifically invest in AI and tech companies that are growing and are sound investments that we trade. So it's a beautiful day here in California. So I just want to update you guys on the position. There was a couple of reasons why we had purchased. We saw a double bounce down here. I had seen some convergence. So again, at this resistance, we could see it sell off. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm in this right now I'm okay. I'm not going to sell because we see that. But what I'm saying is we saw a double bottom here. Simply put, when you have a double bottom, there's really two main things you want to look at. Is there divergence? That's the first thing I look at. So divergence is in the stock market. Divergence is a technical analysis concept that occurs when the price of an asset moves in the opposite direction of a technical indicator. So while some of you guys may say that this was a double bottom, and that's exactly what it was, and it's the same, right, where it hits. What we saw on the MACD that showed divergence was that we saw it sell and it was oversold, and then the second time it hit that bottom, it was much less oversold. So while this may just look like a double bottom or that it's going to, just consolidate, what I saw was that we potentially are seeing a reversal because the MACD was showing some strength, the RSI was showing some strength in that direction, and that's kind of what led to that purchase right here. Um, Seeing it sell off some bits, and we could see it go down a little bit more. I would not be surprised. I was listening to some focus music. We had Earl Nightingale on this morning in our live session, which was very cool. But yeah, so NVDA crushing, absolutely. Saw Nvidia up, what was that, $2? So NVDL was up $2, but the net change percentage wise was 1.5% on Nvidia, which was close to 3% over on NVDL. I was kind of sick today, still a little sick as I get up in the morning. But we still had to do our live session this morning. I was a tad bit late to our live session in Stockbait, but it was a profitable session for some folks, and I think it was quite valuable. All right. So one of the things that we're going to be looking at, we could see the sell-off, but we could also see what could be a change in direction, right? So while it's a little bit nerve-wracking to see it right at that resistance get sold off, if we go down here, kind of look at the trend that we're seeing develop, you see that? Now we're looking a little more bullish after this double bottom. And so if we have that take on it and we see this resistance as simply, a rising resistance in this trend, then right now would be kind of a key area that we'd see it continue its upward direction. So that was the deal with Tesla stock. What was some of the news that we saw? I was looking at Wall Street Journal today, New York Times. We saw Washington Post. There wasn't a whole lot. There was some things mostly related for Tesla. What I saw today was related um, to elections. I didn't see a whole lot related to the actual stock. I mean, we could see if we have any just off the top news that might change. We got price bump on Tesla. Okay, so somebody upped their look for Tesla. We saw more, more on the political side. At Tesla, some celebrating stock gains, other worries, lose focus. Okay, that's still related to the elections, right? Kind of looking for those things. Kathy Wood is selling Tesla, so essentially what you hear from some people is that that's an indication of a buy. Um, I'm just kidding, but and they are entering the holiday season. So you look at seasonal stocks, the records indicate that they often do well in the holidays. So, okay, Elon, yeah, you don't see anything else related to specifically Tesla. You see a lot of things related to like Doge or the elections or things like that. So um, that happens. So we were up 100 just a second ago. We had this marked up that it potentially would sell off. That's kind of what it's doing, right? It seems to be doing that. Um, I'm not tremendously surprised. As you guys can see, I marked up this resistance. Um, the thing is we're here on the 1 minute, 1 day. Okay, if I go more like, let's just kind of look on the 1 week. Oh, that's not the 1 week. Is that the 1 week? Yeah, it's 1 week. Okay, kind of look on the 1 week. Now we're seeing, MACD looks oversold. RSI looks over. Necessarily believe that this is a market cycle. I could believe it's a market cycle, but I don't think it's a market cycle. It looks similar to a market cycle, but it also could be, really just continuing this trend. I was looking at kind of an outlook on the short term. We see it really touching down on this moving average here. And so that was one of the indications that I saw. We see it kind of bounce at the moving average oftentimes. See that moving average acting as a resistance here, kind of pushing up, hitting that moving average, going down. And so its current price, kind of testing that moving average. When we look at, the longer term, it looks like more of a buy, right? And so the RSI, if we drop down on a little bit longer time frame, you could see, the RSI was looking a little oversold. MACD was looking a little oversold. And so that's why when I'm showing you guys this and I'm saying, hey, let's look at the candlesticks again and let's drop it down. And I'm showing it to you guys and you're like, Will, you just said there's a resistance right here and you said it's going to sell off, but you're not selling. Like, what is this? I'm a trader, but I'm not so high frequency, guys. These tech. There's a reason we invest in tech companies and AI companies that are inherently valuable. It's because you might have margin for error, you might have some fluctuations in the near term, but the longer term can look more promising. So, that's kind of the thought process behind identifying a resistance, seeing it hit the resistance, seeing it sell and not selling, right? Also, our purchase price was back here. So even if we drop here, we're like, it could happen, right? Could happen, could be down 1.4% if it continues. I could see that happen. But, just identifying kind of what the trend looks like with a simple kind of trend channel, I guess. We can move that up. Kind of looks bullish, right? Looks like it's going to continue its upward direction. Again, we got in earlier. We were up $100 in our live session. And I told a lot of our members, I said, hey, we're right at a resistance. This would be the time to sell in the shorter term. So those of you guys that want to watch me trade live tomorrow morning as well, you could check out Stockmate down below. Be more than happy to get you guys in and get you investing in some tech and AI companies here as we enter 2025. But yeah, really staying true to pattern right here, and most likely going to continue this upward direction. I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to sell off down to this support, but most likely we'd see it continue up. The other thing to kind of consider is the sell-off today, right? So we went from what was market open at 1980 down to what was 7.7% at 1829. I'm not a person that says buy because it's a low price, right? We don't buy based on just being a low price. We buy based on value. What I saw is quite the sell-off. I could imagine that, I wouldn't say, oh, it's just going to recover all the way back to what it was at pre-market right away. But I was thinking it was definitely oversold. You could look on the MACD, look on the RSI, guys. It was so oversold down here that, to me, it looks like kind of a no-brainer on the near term to buy. And so that was really fun. Yeah, that was really fun. I'm happy for that this morning because I was feeling so sick and I was feeling sick as we entered the day. We drove it. So we drove all the way from Miami, stopped in some places in Florida, stopped in Albuquerque, New Mexico for a little bit to visit some family, but then we get over here to Northern California. And we had some family that was sick. And so I got sick too. So did Tammy. My wife got even more sick. But today I woke up feeling pretty dang sick. But we keep rushing through. Got to go live for our stock mates in the morning. We go live every morning. So I'm like, I was a little bit late, but we had some great moves that happened. So it was good. And now we see that as support. We're seeing it. Kind of stay true to that pattern that I just laid out. And I would imagine that Tesla is going to continue that trend. But again, we also see that it was at that resistance, and boom, it just sold off right now. So yeah, I was just saying it could still. Well, look at that stop loss hit that it just did. It dropped all the way down to 1846. 1844. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at that drop. Wow, it's just mapping that out. Okay, so now we're at a support. Do we see it bounce? Holy crap. So, yeah, we saw it bounce. That support. We're going to see it continue. We're going to see it continue that upward. Wow, we already are back to the previous price. And wow. If I was more ready, then maybe I would have bought right there at that support. I was telling everybody, I'm like, yo, there's a support right here. It's most likely going to hit this and bounce, but we see this trend here. So I would, I literally just wrote it up. I'm like, it's most likely going to bounce here and go all the way down, but that we're okay with that because we're on a longer term, like right? If you look on this is like a 1 minute, 1 day, but like when we look on like the 1 month, you can see like RSI, MACD's oversold. Things look a lot better. Even on the 1 week, it's oversold. So that was kind of the thought process. But wow, wow, that's what happens. Like, who was that for? That was for everybody that set a stop loss right here. Hedge funds are like, let's just do a quick liquidity sweep before we continue up. Oh my gosh. So now we're kind of hovering between that. Well, I guess down here we were here, but if we look at this chart, top and bottom, kind of what we just mapped out, the swings that we're seeing this morning outside of the market sell-off that was 8% that happened right at market open. Aside from that sell-off, we've seen kind of this support and resistance with 3% there, and then what was 3.2% or 3.5%, sorry, more like 4% swing there, and then it had that sell-off that we just saw happen, down from $19 to $18.34, which is about 3.63%. So like, and I, we know we could buy and sell and we could buy and sell, but I was looking at it and I was thinking, again, we're on a 1 minute time frame. These swings are what we expected, right? And we could see it even push down again. But I could also, the longer term, not on just the short term of the 1 minute, but we look on the 1 week, and everything's pointing to being a little bit oversold. Everything's pointing to be in a good buy territory. And then down on the 1 day, it's like now we're not as a premium. We see it bounce. Still got that upward direction on TSLL, but again, still a validated support right here. I think it's fighting to break above this level right here, which is $19. So TSLL is really hovering between $19 resistance and 18.25 supports. And it's going back and forth between the two. But overall, the stock in its totality is down 6.5%. We're about even. We were up about 150 just a minute ago. But we identified it's out of resistance, would sell off. So now we're here. We're in the overall direction. It's up. In this trend that we're starting to see form, it's up. In the past few minutes, like 40 minutes, we see that it could sell back down to that support and continue its upward direction. So we're in a few, we got a few directions it could go. We are back to territory that we saw back on November 8th, which I think we traded on this. I think we traded the swing on November 8th. And this is where we saw tremendous consolidation on November 8th. And so I think, we actually saw it push down to that 1825 on November 8th. Or no, it's more like 1830. And it was consolidating there. And it consolidated up to 1860, really in that 1860 range. And then shot up it shot up from 1860 to 1985, which is about 6.5%. And so now it's at that 1857 right now. So we're at 1857. And it sold off today from what was that 1980, the 1980 range. So we're 6%. We're right now kind of in that range. The 1 day direction is obviously, in the bearish outlook. But when we look on it, kind of on the week basis or from 2 to 3 days to another, it's looking like a good buy. So that's TSLL. It was really great going live this morning because when we did go live, this massive movement happened, and we saw Tesla. I mean, a 6% sell-off. If you guys look on the indicators, the sell-off that we saw from Tesla this morning, there was that 7% sell-off. Every single part of this was showing oversold. Every single part, right at like 720 this morning, was just showing massively oversold. And then, so it went from that $18 price point up to the 1879 price point, and back down to that 1820 price point. So you have a support at 1820. However, it hit 1820 the exact same in both instances. But when you look on the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, the second time that it hit 1820, it didn't have as much downward momentum. So you can see the MACD was more oversold on the first time it hit 1820 than on the second time. So what is divergence? Well, in trading, divergence is when you have a technical analysis concept, right? It occurs when the price of an asset moves in the opposite direction of a technical indicator. So in other words, a positive divergence or a negative divergence can be seen here because we have a positive divergence because it hit 1820 two times. But the second time that it hit 1820, the MACD was showing that it wasn't as oversold as the first time. So the indicator is indicating something different. The indicator was not saying, hey, we're just double bottom. It's the exact same. The indicator is saying we're actually seeing divergence. We're seeing a reversal. And so as it continued up, and we see that momentum on the RSI, that continuation, that is kind of the definition of what is confirmation, right? So then we saw it push up to 1880, go down to 1863, and we ended up buying at 1863, and then it pushed up to $19.07. So about 40 cents a share. Right now we're seeing it go down to that support right at 1820. I mean, we're at 1840 right now, 1845. So I would imagine that it's going to go down to, it could go down to 1820, 1830 before continuing up. But we'll see. we will see, because we also have an upward direction here. There's no doubt about it. We have this slight upward direction from the low that I can map out here. And so this is not the prettiest technical analysis. I should probably clean this up for you guys. That's kind of how you want to look at it, right? A little more on, that's a little more bullish than it probably is. Probably right there. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. Now we could see it, obviously, there's two ways. There's two ways to look at it. We either see that it's in a more bullish support right now, or that bullish support was up here at 1857. So we're down to 1840 right now. And so, but we have this support, this kind of widespread across 1820, 1830. And then the resistance right there at 18 or 1915. So still got some more room to run that I'd be comfortable with, that it could go down. We were up 140. Now we're down 96. We're down 100, 102. See it selling off. 105. TSLL as a whole is down 8.8 or 8.1%. So, all right, this is where things get awfully quiet, right? Are we going to see it hold the supports? Are we going to see it push up? It's at that 18, not 1820, right? That was all the way down to the first time it touched and the second time, but now we're in that, the support range is between 1820, 1835. We're at 1831 right now, 1832. I'm just like, I'm sitting here and I'm just saying, okay, now we're at 1834. Okay, now we're at 1835. Maybe I don't even need to say anything. You guys can just see it. So now we're touching. Okay, so 1.6%. Right, so we got to manage our risk here. Right? We're at 1.6%. But it's where we would expect it to be. So 1.7, 1.8%. I want to focus now on the green. Let's look at the margin for profit right here. If we stay in it, we're down to 1827, 1828. So that support there, if we see it push back up, it's 5% increase to the previous resistance we just hit back here. We see it recover to where it started the day. It's more like a 9% increase. The hedge funds and the big institutional investors, I want you to think about this. A lot of times, if we have big institutional investors, they do this thing that is called a liquidity sweep. So they see that you have a stop loss at a certain price, and they sell their stock in order for they sell a portion of their massive position, and they sell a portion of their position that drives the price down in order to buy your shares that you set at your stop loss. Does that make sense? Does that make sense for everybody? It's extremely common. And so that's why I'm not nervous, and why I said, yes, we have a trend here that looks bullish, and I set that trend so you can see where that direction is. But at the same time, I also put a support and resistance that is what most people would set as their stop loss. 9 times out of 10, and this is gonna get a lot of people. 9 times out of 10. Have you ever set a stop loss, and as soon as you set your stop loss, and you set it very logically, you set it, oh, this looks like it's going to, you set your stop loss in a place that you're like, I believe it's gonna go here. If it goes low, and that's a point where it's just a little bit too low that it's breaking pattern. That's where I would want to sell, because I don't want to hold this while as it breaks pattern, right? That's what you think, right? You say, I don't want to be caught in a position where I'm bag holding, so I'm going to sell it right here. So you set your stop loss. 9 times out of 10, you would have been better off setting that point as your buy point. A lot of people, they enter positions and they enter a position because they see the upward trend. But what you want to do is enter the position where you would set your stop loss. And it takes discipline because you have to first identify that, and then you have to wait a minute until it goes to your stop loss, and then you buy. And that takes some temperance. And sometimes it takes, 30 minutes. And that's why you have Wall Street exist and people that are in front of the desk all day long looking at their computer. But also in the set it forget it world, or the investing intrinsic value of AI and tech, there is um, less of that. I mean, that's why you see valuable companies like Robinhood become such an asset to people like you and me, because we can buy valuable tech and AI companies, or companies that are going to grow over time, and we know that, weather the ups and downs and be okay with that, because we see the intrinsic value as higher, and we see the company making a big difference in the world. So as I say that, still below what that bullish trend really looked like earlier today, right? We were up more, but now, we saw it sell off down to that support at that 1820 mark. I don't know that we got all the way down to 1820. It looks like about 1825 before recovering up to about 1840. So right now we're at 1840 a share. So down about 1.2% in this trade. We were up when Tesla started to sell off. It had a tremendous momentum, and I actually bought the inverse. Some of you guys saw that in our live session. I bought the inverse, and I actually I sold it for a whopping $38, something like that. Whopping 38. Yo, it's TSLS. I bought it. The TSLS, guys, goes down when Tesla goes up. So, yeah, okay. So I bought at 1066. I sold at 1071 for a very short 12-minute trade. And in those 12 minutes, oh, it doesn't show you the P&L. I'll do the quick math. It was 816 times 1066, 8,698. And then we got 818 times 1071, or yeah, 71. $696 was $64 trade. $64 trade in 12 minutes when we bought the inverse of Tesla. But you guys know me, I'm not going to buy the inverse of Tesla and hold that. I know I get all the people telling me, buy the inverse, short Tesla, but you guys know, come on, I'm not going to bet against Tesla. Imagine betting against Tesla. Imagine you bought Tesla back here, or you're like right before the elections. You're like, I think Tesla. I'm not feeling it right here on October or November 4th, and you're like, I'm gonna short. I'm gonna buy the inverse of TSLL, and it went up 126%. That's hilarious. Okay, we're seeing some movement here. Not down to 1820, but at 1834 on TSLL, guys. That's the 2x of Tesla, so it goes up 2% every time Tesla goes up 1%. Tesla sold off about 8%, recovered up about 3%, and then now it's back down to that support at 1820, 1830. So that's how it looks. That's what we got going. So open P&L 2%. Now we just saw it sell off more aggressively down to what is 1815. 1815. Gonna have to manage some risk here. If I want to sell, I'm gonna buy the inverse to sell so that I can continue to hold this position. Getting a phone call. 1810. All right, so we got to look at this. I don't want to be in a position where I'm holding any bag of any kind. So the buy signal, in my eyes, the indication of a buy was at 1820. Saw it break below 1820 just now. Historically, we don't have a whole lot to work off of other than a support right here at 1805, 1803 that we saw back in November 8th, 1804, 1805. So I may not sell unless it breaks that, because the next one would be at 1750, and I'm not really willing to do that. So, all right, so 1820 now, is that what we see? 1817, 1820. All right, we see it recover a little bit. Are we going to see it recover back up, or are we going to have to make a move here? Keep you guys updated. Let me have my, I'm going to be buying inverse. Let's have it open here. If that happens, but my instincts are telling me that it will continue up. I mean, you guys know that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in this position. You guys know that. All right, 1815. Tesla stock has a tremendous way of dropping to what some would say as a stop loss extremely fast and recovering. Is a tremendous ability. Like the recovery that we saw this day, this was back on the 13th. It had sold off aggressively and it recovered from that low. What was 7% recovery? Is that right? Yeah, 7%. 7% recovery. Now today, we kind of saw the same aggressive sell-off, and now we're down here, kind of broke a little pattern, what we kind of expected. And now we are going to, we're kind of monitoring, are we going to see that recovery? If there's any recovery at all, I would imagine that we'd see it Now it has to retest this support. That's a 1.3% up. And then from there, it's got to retest 1885 or 1880. So just keep an eye on it. 1813. How many times have I said 18 in this video, guys? Yeah, I'm on the Robinhood platform. We are on Robinhood Legends. It's a great platform. You want to open up anything like options or anything like that, you can. So it's really good. Don't like to see it at 1813, but we're at 1815 right now. That's where it's at. MACD and RSI looking oversold to a point of we see a little bit of a reversal on the 1 minute, some consolidation. We had some aggressive selling happen. Now we're at that 1805 price. Now we're back to 1812. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So again, that's kind of on the 1 minute. Now on the the shorter term, as it sells off, it could be looking like a buy, but primarily what we're looking at going into today was the 1 week to the 1 month. And really the 1 month, we drop it. Sorry guys, sounded kind of sick. My gosh. 4 hour, it was looking oversold on the 1 month. You see that pullback. It's really healthy. Really healthy pullback. I'm not going to say that it's good that it pulled back, but I'm going to say that it is healthy. It's what you would expect. It's not going to continue up forever, right? Now, I guess a question you could ask right now is, because we're at 1810, a question that I would ask right now is, if I was looking at this on the day and I saw it at this position that it was at right now, I think I would be looking to buy right now. I would look at the MACD, I look at the RSI, I would look at the percentage, the psychology of the percentage that it's down, and I would be looking to buy. And sometimes that's all you need to do in your head to get out of a rut of basically riding it low, selling it low, right? That's not what you want to do. Sometimes that's all you need to think about. Like right now, intraday, quick trade, I'm saying it's an absolute buy. So we're at 1828. We actually saw it push up to 1829. Now, again, as I said, we're going to retest this support at 1830. See, it's at 1830. 1832. Now it's consolidating a bit. We see it really push up, or are we true bearish? Are we truly bearish? 1831, 1832. I would still buy right now. I think if there was any liquidity sweeps, if there's any hedge funds that were heavily invested at this moment, aside from the massive movement we saw earlier this morning. Um, Most of the high frequency trading and a lot of the volume has surpassed or has um, happened already throughout the day. But we do see an uptick in volume just over the past 7 minutes. And now we're seeing it retest the previous support. Um, it held above a support it established back um, on the 8th at 1805. And so I'm saying like 1805, 1830, and you guys might say, what the heck is that Tesla? What do you mean 1805? So we're on Tesla 2X that goes up or down 2% every time Tesla fluctuates 1%. So it's a 2X TSLL, so it's a different price than Tesla. Um, and so essentially now we're seeing it retest at that 1830. It pushed up to 1832, sold down, and now but we see this upward direction. We're either a true bear, which we could really see a market cycle with Tesla that would indicate that. See that downtrend. Or we're going to break above the support, continue to consolidate, push back up to 1920 a share. In one instance, I'm buying the inverse to hedge my position, basically selling, and then in the other instance, I'm simply holding and monitoring. For those of you guys that are just tuning in, we entered this position at market open this morning, or actually it was a little bit after. I was feeling kind of sick today, so got in a little bit later than market open, about 20 minutes late. But we had about 8 Stockmate members tuned in, and we rode a nice swing. We got in from 1863 up to 1907, which I had mapped out as support or a resistance. I believe some Stockmates sold. And then we also had some wins over in NVIDIA. Thad was saying that he was up 200 and, or was it $430 today on NVIDIA. And then, so really good day. And for those of you guys that wonder, we go live every single day at market open inside of Stockmate. That's our second link in the description for those of you guys that want to watch me trade live in AI and tech stocks. And essentially, we have our best sale ever right now for just recently launching Stockmate. So again, I would encourage you simply take a look. Just a friendly reminder if you want to watch me trade live at market open and actually see what led to the decision. Maybe it's not as attractive when you see something down 70, but we're not trading on the 1 minute time frame here. We bought more on looking here on the 1 month. You see it's sold off down to, see the RSI and the MACD oversold. Saw Tesla push up to what was $25 or $24.50 on TSL, and it just sold off quite a bit down to $17.75. So now we are in. We're not only in, we are on the way to a win. That's what I like to think. But the thing is, regardless, we're in a tech company where the underlying value is excellent, and that's one of like the keys, right? We focus on AI and tech stocks that are valuable, and it's backed by work. It's backed by the growth of the company. Might sound crazy, but that's how the U.S. dollar is backed. It's backed by work. It's backed by growth. It's backed by, even gold is backed by work. Why is gold valuable? It's hard to go find some gold. It takes some work. I mean, where I live right now in Northern California, we actually have a mine and mineral rights on our property. Hey, maybe if worst comes to worst, we go do some mining. Still going to take work to get some gold. Isn't that funny? It's not. And so anyway, we had a whole talk in our live session today about the Federal Reserve, how it was founded by J.P. Morgan and Rockefeller, and how was named the Federal Reserve because it's not You can't create a company that has the word government in it. Do you guys know that? You cannot create a company. It's illegal to create an LLC or anything like that that has the word government in your name. However, you want to do federal, go right ahead. Agency, go right ahead. The Federal Reserve was created not by the government, but to preserve the value of the dollar. And that's part of yeah, we talked deep. I'm not going to go into it. We talked deep this morning. You guys know. If you were in the live. So we're up to 1843 now. Okay, so 1844. The reality is overall, so we had a double bottom earlier that we identified, a reversal. That's what led to the early profits. But now, even so, you guys see this sell off that we just had where we were, kind of on the edge of our seat. It's down to 1805. At that moment, when it was down to 1805, you know what's funny? It went lower than it went previously in the support on the day, but the MACD was showing that it still had upward momentum and it wasn't as oversold as it was previously. Isn't that interesting? So that's called divergence, and that's what you see when you see a reversal. See, even though it went lower, we could see the overall momentum of the MACD was showing that it was going not as low as before. So I don't know. I don't even know, guys. Don't listen to me. Don't trade based on what I tell you to invest in. Just try and pick up on the educational pieces. Hopefully it's helpful for you. It's allowed us to grow our account this year by over 100%. And I like to think I have a good track record. I just got back from going traveling the world. We went to South America, went to Colombia, went to Argentina, and we just got back driving. My wife and I. My wife is a singer, and she was singing in Colombia. She's got a lot of followers, over 100,000 followers for her music, and and I'm always into the trading and investing, and I'm up at market open, as you guys know, and but I've been like that for a few years, and I kind of put this like set it and forget it portfolio together for my mom before I left for quite a few years to go travel, and we were running our business, and my wife and I we're doing a lot of stuff, and we're gonna be back in Miami, I would imagine fairly soon. But I checked that portfolio, and she was up like, I think it was like 67% this year. Um, and but overall she was in the green, and she's doing good, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, that is awesome. And I'm like, there's certain things that are kind of time tested. I was just showing my dad the other day how like we were I have this $20 a day buy on Nvidia that I had set back in like 2020, 2021, and my average purchase price was like literally $20 a share of what it is now after the split, which was which was like a 959% return since 2021. There's just so many things like that. Some of them I didn't capitalize on at all, like Dogecoin. Like Dogecoin, I had over 500,000 shares. No, like 1.2 million shares of Dogecoin is what I had, which would have been like, or it was more than that. I don't know. I did the math, and it was $518,000. Oh man. So you don't win them all by any means. I think time is your friend, and but also money really loves speed, right? If you're able to capitalize on quick opportunities that you identify. Sometimes selling a loss is okay if you know you're going to put your money in a better place that's going to make you money, right? And there's a fine line between that and being impatient. But I think knowing the difference is going to make a impact on your portfolio for the better. So we saw it push up now to 1851, sold back down to what is 1844 right now. So recovery in the works. I could have sold at this resistance, but I would deliberately told you guys that I wasn't because I was seeing a longer term play than here just in the day. And I didn't really want to have to sell. I actually would like to not trade. I'd actually like to just kind of hold this as I see a potentially good move. I think the recovery play, if we see it get back to kind of this previous support even that we saw, would be $20.30, which is 9% gain. And then if we get back to what we saw earlier this last week, $23 a share, which would be like a 20% gain. So I was kind of playing more of this longer term. Probably, I don't know that I'll hold into the weekend. I'm not 100% sure, but that was kind of the time frame of this investment, just so you guys know. Sorry for the slight lag on my camera. I know the screen's working okay and my audio is working okay. The upload speed is fairly slow here in this part of California. Kind of in the mountains here, so we are down $30 so far. We've been up 150 or 140. We've been down 140, I think. Yeah. No, I think we weren't down that much. I think it was more like 105. But yeah, now we're down $28, $27, $24, $23, $22, $4,000 positive. No, but we had some really good trades last week, where we were riding $1,600. We sold, and then had a like $600 trade, and then you guys saw it was $567 trade. You guys saw I posted 2 days ago on Tesla, and then we had a $500, what was it, $450 loss we had on Tesla. But like overall, we've had some great trading happen. So it's been a positive week. It's been a great week. Palantir was up. It's down 4% today on PTIR. I'm gonna get into that one. I have to take a look again. I know it was holding a support around 1840. Sorry, 8040. I've been saying 18 so much that I got in the habit. But yeah, so and I kind of see it's not even a technical play with Palantir, but I have to be a little bit technical because I'm holding the 2x, so my risk is higher. So I do have a closer eye. It's not so much a set it forget it on that AI stock. But again, back to TSL, we're down $26, $35, 30, 28. Isn't that great? So Tesla is one of those stocks that, again, it's an underlyingly valuable company. That's why I trade it. You guys don't really see me trade pump and dumps, but every once in a while, if there's massive hype in volume, maybe we'll touch it, but we won't stay in anything like that. All right, so we're back retesting the 1847 price point. So we'll be I'm gonna keep you guys updated on this position on Tesla. I have a few things I gotta get through that I gotta monitor while I'm going through this, so I won't be saying anything. So in that case, I will just be ending the live stream, but I'll keep you guys updated on the position, how it goes, and what we have going out throughout the week. It's at 1842, 43 right now. So got some things I got to take care of, but guys, I appreciate you all. If you guys get this video to 25 likes, then I will share our StockMate live trading session at market open on Monday. for free for you guys to tune in to get a taste of what it's like. For those of you guys that would like to watch me trade live and get the opportunity to learn with 70 plus lessons of technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and how to invest in tech and AI companies specifically using Robinhood, then I would encourage you to check out that second link down below. That's StockMeet. And I would encourage you to check it out if you want to surround yourself with other entrepreneurs, traders, and investors. That's the place. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you all. See you guys in the next video. If I earned your subscription, do consider subscribing. Catch you in the next one. Take care.